Hello champions, it's Malcolm here with the Dangerous Dads channel, and I'm excited to get the first video out here as far as lessons, practical application for being better men. And as I mentioned in the first video that I recorded, just kind of what the channel was about. The channel is about empowering or strengthening men to be dangerous to the things that threaten the family unit. And so I have 3 words for you today, and this is from a talk that I gave a couple weeks ago at a leadership conference, but it's lead, protect, and love. And so first off, as far as leading goes, I think the number one key to leadership is how well do you lead yourself? Because in all honesty, you can't effectively lead others if you can't truly lead yourself. So that's the first place that anybody, especially a man, needs to start with, is leading themselves. And so I want you to, just take some time, look in the mirror, and ask yourself how well you actually lead yourself. And what I mean by that is, how well do you shun comfort? Do you shun pleasures? Do you shun instant gratification for leadership, for a bigger purpose, for the sake of self-discipline? And so leading yourself is, honestly, it boils down to being self-disciplined. And every day that you avoid self-discipline, you're surrendering to weakness and you're forfeiting your goals and dreams. And then 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever it is, you're going to wake up one day and your circumstances are going to be the ultimate slap in the face. And you're going to realize that you squandered your potential by making easy decisions, by making emotional decisions. And the thing is emotional decisions meaning decisions based on what's easy, comfortable, and pleasing in the moment, are only going to ultimately lead to your destruction and the destruction of those around you or your family. And so that's one thing that I really wanted to kind of just get across, is leadership is so important, especially leading yourself and giving yourself the motivation, the discipline to make those more difficult choices on a consistent basis. And I've heard this said before, that hard choices makes an easy life, and easy choices makes a hard life. And so really, are you guiding yourself? Are you pushing yourself to make those more difficult choices, to choose the difficult right over the comfortable wrong? One of my favorite books by an author named Chuck Holton, it's called Bulletproof, the Making of an Invincible Mind. And in that book, he goes through a definition of self-discipline. And he said, self-discipline is the act of choosing the difficult right over the comfortable wrong. It's controlling your will and recognizing that the bend of human nature follows the path of least resistance. So the self-disciplined individual chooses the neglected path of the hard road, but they also choose it for the sake of personal growth, for making themselves better. And so if we're not consistently making the more difficult sided decisions and choosing the neglected path of the hard road, then we're just getting softer, we're just getting weaker and less capable as men. So first off, again, lead yourself. Secondly, protect. Okay, protecting the loved ones that you have, but it goes way more than just physical protection. I know every man that I know, is if an intruder came into their home, the man would die for their family, hands down. Like, there's no question about it. They would do everything they can. They would lose their life trying to protect their family. But how well do you protect the self-images of the people under your care, of your kids, of your wife? Okay, does your wife, and what that looks like as far as protecting her self-image is, does she trust that your eyes are only for her? Okay, are you looking at women passing by? Are you looking at things that you shouldn't be looking at online? Whatever it is, are your eyes only for her? Does she trust that? So protecting her self-image. And not that it is entirely up to us to build her self-image, but that, comes from, stuff in the past and things like that. But it is our role to protect it. Are we cultivating an environment in our household and in our relationships for the people under our care to grow and thrive? And really, the word husband comes from ancient terms. Husbandry is the person who cultivated the land, who grew crops and that sort of thing, grew plants and flowers. And husbandry is you're given a garden, so to speak, and it's the people that you love, the responsibilities and duties entrusted to you, but how well do you cultivate those things, and are they blooming? Are they lush and flourishing, or are they starving at the vine? Are they being choked out by the weeds of life? And so it's up to you, men, to protect your loved ones and to cultivate, like I said, an environment in your household. It's like that rich, fertile soil where the people in your care, the people in your sphere of influence can grow and thrive. And so what are you doing to protect that environment and protect the ones you love? Let's see here. Secondly, and in the same realm of protection, is protecting the dreams of the people around you, protecting your wife's dreams, protecting your kids' dreams. Okay, are her dreams more important to you than your own entertainment? That's a great question. And I think honestly, if we look at our screen time on our phones, that's a good indicator of what's important to us, whether it's her dreams or our own entertainment. How much time do we spend watching television versus working towards the goals and dreams of our spouse? How much time do we spend watching television, on social media, entertaining ourselves with our own sports, games, things like that, versus being with our children and helping them to dream big, and also equipping them with the tools, the mindset, the skills necessary to accomplish their goals and dreams? So those are questions that we'll throw out on our discussion next weekend at our men's breakfast. But for those of you online, I want you to ponder these things. And then lastly is love, okay? And there's a definition in the Bible of the word love. And one of the really important things that I think we need to be able to do as men, and a quality that we need to strive for, is to take this biblical definition and replace the word love is with I am. And so it says right here, this I believe is in 1 Corinthians 10:13, I think, is love is patient, love is kind. Love does not envy or boast. Love is not proud. It does not consider or does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres, and love never fails. So if you took the word love, like I said, and replaced this with your name, for me, Malcolm. Malcolm is patient. I am patient. I am kind. I do not envy or boast. I'm not proud. I do not dishonor others. I'm not self-seeking. I'm not easily angered. I keep no record of wrongs. I do not delight in evil, but rejoice in truth. I always protect, always trust, always hope, always persevere, and I never fail. So ask yourself those questions. And another thing too is I've seen a lot of stuff in the last couple weeks where people react to certain situations with a reaction that is drastically disproportionate to the offense. And I think us as men, I think one of the important things that we need to really strive to be, especially when it comes to anything directed directly towards us. Now, this is a different scenario if it's directed towards the people you love, and that goes on under the role of protecting. But as a man working and striving to be unoffendable. And so if you've been on the news at all, you've seen a gentleman, his name's Rajah Jackson. He's the son of Quentin Rampage Jackson, the Ultimate Fighter. And I don't know all the scenario, all the details on the scenario, but I know he was on set for a WWE type staged wrestling event, and it was outside of it. And he I don't know if he was part of it or was just a passerby that was invited to, watch, but he was backstage basically. And one of the main event guys thought he was part of the crew, part of the stage show. And he smashed some kind of like fake beer can or something. It was a stage prop. It was part of the show, and he smashed it on his head. And there was a little bit of an altercation there. And then the guy realized, the other staff told him he's not part of the show. And so he apologized and went about his business. And Rajah came to the performance. He was sitting ringside, and there's videos of this online. And some point in the middle of the WWE type performance, he goes up onto the ring, climbs up in there, hits the guy in a double leg takedown, slams him on his back, and his head kind of whiplashed on the floor and knocked the dude out. And then he proceeded to jump on top of him and start slugging him in the face with haymakers. And, you know, the world would be so much better of a place if we could just let little things roll off of our back. That same day that I first saw the news about that, I was also going for a walk during work, and there was some road construction, and I had to go around the road construction to kind of resume my normal path. And so I went around, I came around the backside of it to get to my normal path, and this guy had driven up to the road construction, and he was arguing with the construction workers trying to get through. Well, this is a loop that goes around a little business center and an apartment complex, and there's multiple exits out of this loop. And this guy was throwing a fit over the fact that the construction workers wouldn't let him through because they were putting a layer of, you know, some kind of tar coating or something on the road. And so if he drove over it while it was still wet, one, it would get that stuff all over his car, and two, it might ruin the coating, at least where he drove, before it cures. And so anyway, I kind of watched this unfold as I'm coming around the backside, and then going the path that I was going to go in the first place. This guy finally goes into the road and takes a U-turn to go the other way. And he's got his window down. He looks at me and he yells at me about how much of a bunch of idiots these construction workers are. And the dude was ridiculously offended. And these guys are just trying to do their job. But like I mentioned, the world would be so much better of a place if we were just unoffendable. Especially, like I said, if it's directed just towards us. You know, the people cut us off on the road when we're driving, and, you know, people go into fits of rage over, you know, something that might create a 5-second delay. And, you know, I wrote something else down that I just want to mention here before I wrap this video up. And that's, people are going to do dumb things. People are going to offend you. And this biblical definition of love them anyway. If you're in business and you're setting up interviews, you're doing things like that, people are going to no-show you. Love them anyway. People are going to hurt you. The people that you love are going to hurt you. Love them anyway. People are going to let you down. Love them anyway. People are going to do dumb things, myself included. Love them anyway. People are going to lie to you. Love them anyway. And like I said, people are going to hurt you. Love anyway. So guys, those are the three kind of topics, like I said, that I had for you, is to lead yourself first, protect, obviously physical protection, protect those around you, but also protect the self-images, protect the dreams of those that are closest to you, and then love, guys. Let your life be marked, or let your life exist, let your life radiate in such a way that everybody around you knows that you are full of love and gratitude. So that's all I have for you guys. And just as the Dangerous Dads founder here, I want to encourage you, and I used to wrap up my other videos with some sports psychology business that I ran, as I encourage you guys to think strongly, attempt fearlessly, and accomplish masterfully. So I hope this video is a blessing. Have a great day.